All right, Facebook, here we are on hashtag Entrennial Talks with Entrennial University. I'm going to be doing some admin work over here, but I am so excited to talk to you about our wonderful guest that we have today. Her name is Lindsey Campbell. She is coming from all the way from Denver, Colorado, like an hour away from me, but maybe she's thousands of miles from you. But she is from MissionSuite, and she is going to be talking to us a lot about customer relations and especially customer sales. So how many times have you had a dozen prospects that you've actually talked to, and about 8 of them just kind of go through the cracks? You forget about them, you're not sure where they went, and you're just going, oh yeah, what about Joe Schmo that I talked to a few weeks ago? And then you call them up, but the sale has gone cold and the conversation has died. And so that prospect is now not so much a prospect anymore, but just somebody that's on your list. So I have brought in Lindsey here today. She is going to talk so much about how that is not going to happen anymore for you. We want you to be able to have more conversions in your sales, which means tracking your conversations, which means not having people drop off the list and dropping off in your world and on your calendar. And so Lindsey's going to show us some awesome tips, tricks, and a system that you can use in your own business and life in order for your sales to get higher and higher and higher. So Lindsey, thank you so much for being on the show. Please tell us a little bit about you and what you're all about with this MissionSuite.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Hi, everybody. So excited to be here. I'm actually, crazy enough, in California currently on a little birthday trip, but I do live in Denver. We are Denver-based. My husband and I own MissionSuite, and we sell this software. And we love everything that Denver and Colorado have to offer. We're backpackers, hikers, dog people, skiers, you name it, we do it. As long as it's outside. As far as MissionSuite, you may have read a little bit. We're a unified sales and marketing platform. So we help companies, they're frustrated. Either they've got a CRM that they hate or can't figure out, or don't have enough training in how to use. They're just not getting enough first appointments. Kind of like you mentioned, a lot of people are slipping through cracks. Or they're concerned that they're just not meeting their sales objectives. And, all that's really expensive. So, how many of you guys have stacks and stacks of business cards sitting on your desk at home and have no really way or system to actually utilize those cards and those contacts? I know that's been a huge thing for me in past jobs I've had, past sales companies I've worked in. And, that our clients would tell us that they love our platform because it combines their sales and their marketing efforts, and it tracks all their activities and all their opportunities, and it's driving sales through their automation, and it's all in one place. You don't have 6 or 7 Frankenstein systems. Like I mentioned, I've had a lot of issues about things slipping through the cracks, and MissionSuite has made all the difference. Everybody I meet at a networking event, even if they don't necessarily seem like they'd be a great prospect, I'm able to reach out to them because you never know. I've had meetings with people that I go into the meeting and I expect nothing out of it, and I walk away with a new client because I tell them a little bit about MissionSuite and how we can help, and it ends up being a great connection. So, that's what we're going to be talking to you about today, is how to connect your sales and your marketing and all those activities and get it all in one place and streamline everything you possibly can.
Thank you. Preach it. This is awesome. I'm so excited because we get a lot of people in our community that are talking about, how can I improve my sales? How can I improve my sales? How can I improve my sales? And the biggest tip I can always tell people is the follow up and the follow through. But that is probably the thing that people don't think about as top of mind. They're always thinking about, okay, I need to have more sales conversations, but really it's all about the follow up from that sales conversations is where you get not only usually the most of your sales, but long-term loyal customers as well comes with the follow-up, because you're building that customer relationship, that trust. And that's really the foundation that I feel like we're talking about today, is the trust and being able to feel like you're reliant, feeling like you're responsible, feel like you're timely and you're on it, you're on the calendar, you're at the minute, you're at the moment, and making sure that you're punctual. All of that is some things that you're going to show us today. So let me ask you a few questions though, is that why do you, and maybe this is a question, like a general question of the population of the world, why do you think customer relationship management systems are so important for people to have? Like, what's the #1 thing that you see that people are wanting them the most for?
Tracking. It's tracking their sales activities, it's tracking their pipeline, it's tracking people who maybe aren't really ready yet, but tell you, hey, give me a call in June because that's when I might look, or give me a call after the holidays. And gosh, I can't tell you how many times I've heard that is
right.
After this contract ends, let me get after tax season. And it gives them all that tracking capability. It's how many times you hear, oh gosh, everything is slipping through the cracks. I'm so overwhelmed. I have no time to do all of this. And I'm missing so many opportunities because I don't have any ability to actually track. And a CRM, really good CRM, will give you that ability to track all of those pieces in one place so you don't miss anything.
Yeah, so you mentioned earlier a little bit about it's not a Frankenstein system. Can you kind of tell us what that means?
Yeah. So, one of our great customer profiles is somebody who comes in and says, okay, so I'm using this for my CRM. I'm using this for my email marketing. I'm using this for my marketing automation. I'm using this for my event management. I'm using this for surveys, this for document signing, this for my project management. And it's 7, 8, 9 systems. So yeah, maybe, they think they got a great deal on their CRM, but then you look at how much they're paying. But then you also look at the time to do so much kind of integration. These systems often don't really smoothly speak to each other. So again, you're missing things because you're copying and pasting lists, and then you're paying double for your email marketing platform with your CRM, but they're not really talking. So you're just spending and wasting and losing so much time and money and energy trying to use 6 or 7 different systems instead of being able to just use one that's all built as one piece.
I like that. The idea of the Frankenstein, just trying to piecemeal it together and hope it works, right? Rocket system. So yeah, I am totally somebody that's all about the Swiss Army knife. So it's one thing that has like 20 different tools in it. And so it sounds like that's what you're going to be bringing us today, is a system that's going to be showing everything. So I want everybody to know that if you have any questions, we have some people here on the live that's popping up. If you have any questions, put it into the chat because we're going to go share screen and Lindsey's going to show us what it's all about in this system that's the Swiss Army knife, not the Frankenstein of your customer sales, and tracking your journey. One tip before we start sharing the screen though, is that if you're not measuring just about every activity, conversation, and thing that you're doing in business, you're going to have a hard time to see your projections in business, what you are wanting to make, but not only that, but your productivity in your business too, what needs to shift in order for you to make more money. So Lindsey's going to really show us a lot of the tools and how to create that. So Lindsey, if you could just share your screen, and anybody who has any questions leading up to this, there are multiple, customer relationship management systems out there. I just felt like Lindsey's was going to be one of the best to show you. So I am like so excited about this, guys, like so excited. So put in your questions into the live and we'll be rocking and rolling here.
Awesome. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Like Anastasia mentioned, this system is all about making you money and saving you money. So throughout this, I'm going to let you know about the different ways that you can do that. So what you're seeing now is the dashboard, and a good dashboard will show you everything you really need to see right when you log on so that you can just get rocking and rolling right when you set up your system. You'll see that mine is kind of cluttered. I have everything on here so I can show you guys. But during our setup time, we do a full customized setup. And during that time, we actually work with you to find out, to teach you about the different widgets, how they work, how they can be used by you. And then we get rid of the ones you don't need. If you don't need cities and companies and things like that, we get rid of them. And this is on a per user basis. So if you have a team of 10 different people and you each need to see 10 different things, that's totally available to you. A couple of them that I love, again, we're talking about sales and all of our tracking. So a few of the widgets that are my favorite. So I have this, this is my drag and drop pipeline management. So I love this because I can come in here, pick somebody up and move them over, and it immediately updates everything in their opportunity. This is really nice because if I have things set up to like automation, it can automatically trigger the next steps of automation. So maybe it's a follow-up email saying, thank you so much for being on the demo. Here are those follow-up links. Here, I'll be calling you in 3 days to follow up, or whatever it is for you and your business. You can also click right here on that opportunity and see that opportunity. You can see that contact. And so you can make those edits, make those changes, put in any new notes that you have. Again, it's all about streamlining so you're not hopping through 7 different steps to get where you need to be looking. We also have our funnel. So this is our opportunity funnel. And here you can click on these different places to see who's in what part of your funnel. Again, this is all about tracking, knowing where your opportunities are, knowing where your money is and what to project and what to forecast. I also love the fact that I see my to-do list right here. So right here, I have all these tasks, and these are all my follow-up tasks from Friday when I was out of town. So I've got some stuff to be getting done tomorrow. But I also have things that are coming up. You see here my Facebook Live demo. And so I'm able to come here and see what's coming up next, get on top of things, get things done early. Again, this whole dashboard is to save you time and save you money because it's all very streamlined. It also stops you from missing opportunities, missing activities.
Well, Lindsey, I'm going to pause you right there. So you're basically telling me that this dashboard is kind of just a very brief overview of measuring not only success, but also what we need to tweak and where the biggest activity and the lowest activity of our whole sales process is happening.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can track your activities. You can see who on your team is doing what types of activities. So again, you're able to see everything right from this screen.
So, right here and there, you're basically showing me all of the measurements I'm needing to see on what I need to improve in not only myself in my sales, but my business, my email marketing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this is what I was talking about, everyone who's watching, is that you want to be able to measure everything that you do in terms of the sales process and marketing especially. And so when you have this dashboard, like what Lindsey is showing here off of MissionSuite, it's really showing that you can see on a brief overview of, okay, what's doing well and what's not doing well. So thank you so much, Lindsey, for pausing. Please continue.
Absolutely. So it's actually a perfect transition time. I'm going to move over to showing you a contact record. So this is just a test contact record so that you guys can see kind of how we have it set up. Another thing you're going to hear me talk about during this demo quite a bit is customization. Like I mentioned, we do a fully customized setup for every client. So during that time, we find out for your contacts what these fields need to be. You can have an unlimited number of customized contact fields. So these contact fields are any information that you need to store, so any data you want to store. You can use it to filter contacts, so you can do searches on any of these fields. You can do it as merge fields in your emails, which I'll show you in a little bit when we go to the email builders. And you can use them to trigger automation. So by triggering automation, I mean right here when I go to my first contact, if I select networking A and I save this contact, it immediately starts a drip campaign. And I'll show you those again a little bit later. But these can all trigger a workflow, a drip campaign, a marketing campaign. There's a lot of different ways that you can, again, streamline, save time, save money, and make money. Moving over to CRM.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lindsey. Could you go back real quick to contact information? So, there's a lot of fields here, and I don't want anyone to feel overwhelmed.
Yes.
So what would you say, other than, just like name, email, phone number, that people would want to focus on the most in terms of what's on this page here when it comes to the actual contact itself?
So what's really helpful for me is over here, these suspect and qualifying questions. And these are really helpful because this helps me know whether or not they're a good prospect or whether or not they're a good partner. So it also gives me the information I need to know before maybe doing a demo or before even bringing them on as a client. So things like estimated size of database. That's how we determine how much the monthly cost is going to be for a client. Knowing how many salespeople they have helps us kind of talk through what the projection is of the system cost for them over the next 6 months to a year as they're growing, because our goal is not to just come in and be your system for a certain amount of time, but to grow with you and give you those tools consistently.
Okay,
But
great. And in
the
terms of the lead score, right up there, activity lead score, you have like, 6.85, whatever. And I get that's like to say, okay, this is a pretty high prospect, a pretty good lead in terms to a sale. How would you gauge that? So like we have, from a 1 to 10, how would you be able to gauge that if it was a pretty good customer leading to a sale? Would you just say like that's an 8 or is that a 10 for you?
So we actually have set up lead scoring. So we actually have the ability to do lead scoring through MissionSuite. So lead scoring is done automatically. So I'm not the one going in and putting these numbers in. It's based on how they are engaging with our content. So if I'm sending an email and they're opening it and they're clicking on it or reading it multiple times, that's when their activity score goes up. If they go to my website and look at my pricing page, that gets a score. So the activity lead score is actually not based on me looking at somebody and saying, this is how good of a contact they are or good of a prospect they are. It's based on their activity and how they're engaging with our website, our emails, phone calls, things like that.
That's freaking phenomenal. Like you're doing the heavy work for us. That's great.
Exactly. That's the whole point of a system like MissionSuite.
That's great. Okay, continue. Sorry.
Yeah. I think, regarding the most important fields, really what we try to find out, and most people start out with a very small amount and you can grow, you can always add new fields. It's very simple. We teach you how to do it. Plus we will help you if you need it. But it's all about what information do you need to know about a person or about a company to know whether or not they're a good prospect and to know how to communicate with them well. If you communicate with people differently based on location, then that's something you need to keep in your database. Does that all make sense?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, so moving over to activities. This is where you're gonna see the life of your contact. So I see everything here from emails to phone calls to websites they visited, things that they've clicked on. Anything that I put in is also stored here. So adding activities is very easy. You come up here. This is another thing that we customize, and this is a little overwhelming because we have a ton of activity options in our system, but you could have 5. You could have as many as you want, need, or as few as you want or need. But coming in, you decide what your activity is. You give it a due date. So let's say it's a Friday phone call at 7:10. And then I can actually have it send me an email reminder, because if you're anything like me, you are busy and you're constantly running around. And maybe you don't want to have to pull up the app on your phone or to have to sit down at your computer and pull up a phone number. Having this send me an email reminder an hour before it's due, I get the phone number, I get any notes from this activity, I get all that information. So I can just do it straight from there. I can be on my way to walking to something and make that phone call right there without having to miss a beat. Again, all about saving you time, saving you money, and making you money.
Awesome.
So again, you're able to put all the notes in. You can associate it with an opportunity, whatever you need to do. This is all about how you keep your notes. So another thing you do here is adding your opportunity. So this is gonna update really quick. So adding an opportunity is also very simple. So you're gonna give it a title, whatever makes sense for how you run your business. So we use the company name. And then you're going to give it a quality. So maybe okay, this is a potential client, but it's probably a C quality. So depending on your own ranking and depending on how you kind of want to break down your opportunities and how you spend your time, this can help you prioritize if you think somebody is more of a good client opportunity or not. You can also give it a source. And this is something I love. I'm involved in a lot of different things. I do a lot of different events, and I pay for memberships for several different things. And I love that I can track where my opportunities are coming from. Again, this is going to save you money by focusing your efforts. If you're involved in a group, I'm involved in a group called Firestorm. If I run my reports and my numbers, I can tell you right now, I have way exceeded the amount of money I spend on Firestorm in how much I make out of my opportunities for Firestorm. So this is really helpful if every 6 months you run a report and you look at where your opportunities are coming from, and you can, again, focus those efforts, focus your time, focus your money on the things that are actually making you money.
I think that that feature right there, as you mentioned, is one of your favorites, and it would probably be one of mine too, because our audience last week, we watched Felicia Jones, who is the budgetologist. She talked all about finances and budget. It was a crazy, crazy live show. Everybody was so going crazy over it. This is what we were talking about with Felicia's show, guys, is that you want to be able to track where your money is going, focus in on that, like with Lindsey here with Firestorm. So check that out, by the way. But this Firestorm thing, and now she knows that she needs to focus more time in Firestorm versus maybe Twitter, right?
Exactly.
Awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely. And the next thing you do is you set your phase. And this is another thing that we customize for you during your setup. We find out what the different phases, what the different steps are in your sales process. So these are ours. We qualify a lead, we schedule a demo, we complete the demo, etc. We also set up your percent chances. So this means when I have a qualified lead, there's a 20% chance that they're going to close and become a client. Once I've completed a demo, there's a 70% chance they're going to come on board as a client. This is really helpful. Again, like she was saying, it's all about knowing when your money is coming in. When you're trying to budget, this is really helpful because you know if there's only a 50% chance that you're going to close a $10,000 deal, then you shouldn't expect $10,000. You should be expecting expecting 5,000. I wish it was 50,000, but it's all about being able to project, being able to forecast your money. And then we can set up these different products. And products would be anything that you have that's a set cost, a set amount, and you want to have it already set up so that you can just come in, check things off, and keep going. And it automatically puts your values, it updates your percent chance to win. And then you give it an estimated close date. Again, this is all about projecting. This is all about saving you time and giving you an idea of where your money's coming in and when it's coming in. So I can come in here and let's say I'm bringing somebody in that loves MissionSuite. They want it, but they have a contract with X provider that doesn't end until August 1st. So I'm not going to expect them to close in June. I'm going to say, well, they're probably going to come on board end of July so that they're set up before their other contract ends. This will help me with my projections and knowing when money is going to come in and when opportunities are going to close.
And I think that's really key for our community as well, is to know the projections of this potential sale, because we have a lot of Entrennials that come in and are actually pitching to funders, angel investors, things like that. And so this is like a concrete way for our community members to do that, is to see the projections of the actual in-house sales, not just made up numbers, right? But this is like hard numbers of our projections. So this is really invaluable.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I'm going to pause you real quick. We do have a question, and you're probably going to get to this here soon. But we were Shaddai was asking, does this whole system integrate with calendars?
Yes, we do integrate with calendars. We have a couple different ways of doing that. It depends on what kind of calendar you're using, but we are able to integrate with your email, so Gmail or Outlook, as well as your calendars that are associated with your emails. We also have the ability to integrate with things like Calendly or other online calendaring tools. We are connected through a system called Zapier for a lot of things that you can actually have free integrations. They do have a few paid, but most of them are free. We have over 1,000 apps, and we're able to connect with any of them on there.
Awesome, thank you.
Couple other things to note that you see here. We do have the ability to store files. We don't often recommend that this is your main filing system. It can be a little bit more, a little bit more complicated finding everything you're looking for. But it's great if you are working on a deal, so you want to store files as you're working on that deal until it closes, and then you can archive them into Dropbox or whatever other system you might be using at the time. We also have this really cool feature of document signing. If you're out there using something like DocuSign or eSign, this is a great tool. It's already built in, it's already integrated, and you can send a document for signing. They go on, they initial, they sign, you initial, you sign, everyone gets a copy. It's really, really streamlined, very simple, and it saves it right here if you ever need to reference it. You're also able to pull it down as a PDF and save it. We do have the ability for quoting and invoicing, and we can store cards on file.
So that's amazing because I know, so many businesses, they have like kind of like what you were talking about earlier, the Frankenstein effect, right?
Mhm.
But, people didn't really think about CRMs having the ability to sign contracts and also invoice within them. So this is really, really cool. And it's all in one mainframe, which is so handy. And you're doing it right in the customer portal right there with,
Mhm.
Bryn Menino, made up person, hopefully. And you're basically seeing the documents, who signed, are we ready to rock and roll, are you enrolled in a program, or have you officially bought our service? This is really, really cool.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, all right. So I do want to mention, as far as separating out your contacts, because that's one of the biggest issues, is you have to break up your contacts and send them different types of emails, because you're not going to want to send your networking partners the same emails that you're sending your clients if you're making an update or price change. And so this is really a great way to break up your contacts. So you've got your, for me, I have my contacts. So this is anybody I'm talking to, meet at a networking event. I have them all in one place, but then I can also break them out into, are they a lead? Are they a client? Are they part of my Firestorm group? So they can be in multiple groups, so you can send them all the same communication or whatever communication they need. But you can also, you can keep them separate, so you can communicate with the right group in the right way at the right time. So this is our base way of breaking out our different contacts. All right, I want to do a quick call for any questions on the contacts before we move on. Anything?
We do have a little delay, so I will probably have to tell you in a couple seconds.
No problem. I'll go ahead and move forward then.
Okay.
So moving on to our contact database. So this is where you would come to build out a list. So let's say you want to send an email to all of your clients that live in a specific zip code. This is where you would come to build out that list and to really define a smaller group within your bigger groups. And you can search in all groups you have access to, just the group you're working in, or you can select specific groups that you want to be looking in. You can build out your criteria as simple or as complex as you want. And from here, you're able to actually save that filter. So if you want to pull that same, or you want to refresh that list each month and send them a new email, it'll add those new people in. It'll get rid of people that no longer fit that criteria. You can also add a tag to those people. So maybe you want to cold call this new list that you pulled, and so you can add a tag so it's really quick to pull them up, and then remove the tag as you make that call so that it's really fresh, very easy, very quick. Again, all about saving you time, saving you money, and making you money. You can also make modifications or email contacts straight from here. And then when we move on over to our email builders. So we actually have two different email builders. I'm going to spend most of my time talking about the Easy Builder, but I do want to show this is what's called a WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. This is a great place to build out really simple, plain text emails, something that might look like you built it in your Gmail or your Outlook email. This is where I build a lot of my follow-up emails that are templatized and personalized, but keep it really simple so I'm not spending that time again. Like I said, save time, save money, make money. Here you can do things like code. If you're a coder, or if you have somebody in your team that does coding, great way to do it. I just know enough to mess everything up, so I stay out of it. You can also pull out templates, and you can build templates and save them and pull them out from here. And then this is, I want to show you our merge fields. So we have two different ways of merge fields. And merge field is something like, hi, first name, or it was great to meet you at the place that we met, whatever it was. So those are merge fields. What I love, another part that's actually one of my favorites in the system because of how much time it saves me, is our dynamic data rules. And the dynamic data rules work in that you can build out blocks of content that are different for each contact, depending on something that you put in there. So for example, I do a ton of networking and I'm all over the place. I live in Denver, but I'm out in California at least once every 6 weeks or so. I'm out in New York about every 6 months, and I do a lot of road tripping and visiting other places. I meet people all over. So in order to simplify my follow-up with networking, I put in the location that I met someone. And if it says I met them in Denver, then that block of content is going to say, we talked about getting together sometime over the next couple of weeks. Let's get together for breakfast or coffee. But if it says that I met them in San Diego, it's going to say, we talked about connecting again soon, and I split my time between here and Denver. Can we hop on a phone call? Because I'm usually only in San Diego for a couple of days, and it's not enough time to get something on the calendar. So this could be really cool for someone doing a newsletter, and they want to have a little block of content that is dependent on the industry that the person that's receiving the newsletter is in. So as long as you have that information in your database, it will say, if you're a real estate agent, this block of content, because this is what's relevant to you. If you are in software or IT, this content is relevant for you. And then of course you always have a catch-all at the end.
So I see this being really valuable because I don't know about everybody else on this live, but when I open my email box, I dread it.
Yes.
Just because I literally opened my email today and there was 150 actual emails waiting for me, not spam, not ads, actual emails waiting for me. And I was like, oh my gosh. So this, basically you are communicating to people within just 3 clicks and you're sent. That is amazing and such a time saver. Oh my gosh. I know that a lot of people listening in on this are probably feeling the same way. They're like, wait, I can send a whole email in 3 clicks rather than writing like 3 or 4 paragraphs. That is going to save time, especially if you have 150 emails in your email box.
Absolutely. Or having to copy and paste, going to old emails.
Oh yeah. And then you accidentally put in the wrong name and it's like, oh my gosh. Right. So,
how many times I've done that in the past at other jobs.
Oh, that's a sales killer, guys, in case you didn't know.
People hate getting their name spelled wrong. People hate getting their name wrong. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Definitely keeps everything a lot cleaner. You just pop in your rules, you pop in your merge fields. You can build out these templates and these emails that just fill it in, but they're still very personalized.
Yeah, and you only have to create the template once, and then you can use it over and over and over again. So
exactly, no copy and pasting.
So I don't want to give too much of a spoilers, but I know a lot of people who are watching may feel a little overwhelmed. They're like, oh my gosh, this has so many features to it. But I do want to highlight that at the end of this, you guys are going to hear about something that MissionSuite brings that I know a lot of CRMs do not bring. And it's actually building a lot of this stuff out for you. So stay tuned because Lindsey is actually going to talk about how you don't have to create all of these things. So don't feel overwhelmed. Don't feel like you have to do all these modules, these webinars just to learn how to use it. They're going to actually build a lot of it out for you. So just stay tuned, guys. All right, continue, Lindsey. Thank you.
Absolutely. So I do want to show you our easy builder. So if anybody's ever used MailChimp, this looks very similar in the way that it's built. So you're just drag and dropping. It's really easy to build out beautiful templates, beautiful newsletters without knowing anything about coding, without trying to size your different, without having to size your different boxes and columns. Really, really simple. You drag and drop, you build it out, make it look the way you want it to, and then you can always pull it into the WYSIWYG to tweak things or make it more specific. But this is great for people like me who don't have a marketing background, don't know how to code, and just need something to really simply build out a newsletter or an event invitation and make it look really nice. It even tells you exactly what size your picture should be, so you don't have to worry about distortion when it gets to your email box. These are also going to be responsive. So depending, whether they're opening it on their laptop, on their phone, on their iPad, doesn't matter. It's going to look great no matter where they're opening it from. All right. So I'm going to move over now to drip campaigns. So I mentioned a little bit about them before. Drip campaigns are my favorite. Again, another favorite. But these are amazing because, again, this is all about me saving time and making money. And so my drip campaigns are everything. So like I mentioned, I do a ton of networking. So after I get back from a networking event, all I do is spend maybe 20 minutes popping in my 30 email or my 30 business cards that I get from an event, or maybe 5 minutes if I've only got a couple business cards. And then I tell my system what kind of contact they were. So if I mark them down as networking A, that means I think they're a good prospect or a good partner. And we talked about getting together again to talk further. As soon as I say that they were networking A, they're going to receive an email. It's going to fire it right off to them. Hi, first name, it was great to meet you at, and it fills these things in, again, super personalized. And then here's that dynamic placeholder where if it's Denver, it's going to say, hey, let's get together for coffee. If it's anywhere else, it talks about getting on a phone call. If I don't hear back from them, a couple days later, I'm going to get an activity added to my CRM saying follow up. This could mean for me a phone call. It could mean I hop on LinkedIn and send him a message there. It could mean I send him a text message if that's the kind of conversation we had. But it just reminds me to follow up because I don't have anything on the calendar yet to talk to them. A couple days later, still haven't heard from them. It's going to send them a follow-up email. Again, super personalized. Hi, first name, following up. I'd still love to get to know you and your business more. Another dynamic placeholder depending on the location. If I still haven't heard back from them, which happens, everybody's busy, so people don't always follow up to your follow-up. A couple days later, it's going to say, give them a call. This is kind of my last ditch of just giving them a call saying, hey, not sure if you saw my emails. I'm sure you're super busy, but I'd love to get something on the calendar. If I never hear back from them, then they move to my nurturing group. And guys, this is huge. You should always have a nurturing group in your CRM. This allows you to not lose anybody. So they'll still get my newsletters. They're still going to hear if we add a new feature to MissionSuite. They're still going to get our educational information about how to automate things or how to streamline your system more, even if I never hear back from them. So again, I've had people that I've met in January. I don't hear back from them until June. It happens. But this way, I still remember where I met them, what emails I've sent, what phone calls I've made, all of that. So that's my networking A drip campaign. And I have several others for different conversations that I have networking. I have ones for referrals. So, Anastasia sends me somebody and says, hey, you should call Bob, and gives me his email and phone. I'm going to put him in my system and start him on a drip campaign for referrals so that I don't let that fall through the cracks. Because again, Bob might be super busy. I might not hear from him for a couple weeks. And it just allows everything to get really simplified.
So this is super strong and powerful because you're literally not having to do anything but to set the system up real quick for 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. Because like you said, the emails are very simple. They're not, these huge pictures and videos and stuff like that. They're just, hey, let's chat, right? And you literally just press the button and all that's happening and you don't necessarily have to think about it. You just observe. That's freaking awesome.
Exactly. And if, you get that follow-up task and you're out of town that day and can't get it done, it's sitting there and you don't miss a beat because the next day you pop on and it's sitting there in your task list on your dashboard.
So you're telling me literally my calendar pops up when I log into the dashboard and it's like, hey, you need to follow up with all of these people. You didn't yesterday, so you got double time today. Make sure you do it. That's awesome.
Exactly. It's all right there in on that dashboard for you.
So audience members, remember we had, I think it was Kyle Brose, and we have a few other people, Kai, and all these other experts that come in and we're interviewing them, and they're always talking about how they time block their time, and they always try to get things done first thing in the morning. When you're doing your follow-ups, it's generally a great idea to follow up in the morning. So when you walk into your dashboard, your CRM, and you're seeing your calendar, like what Lindsay's saying here, of all these follow-ups, call them or work with them because people can only make a certain amount of decisions a day. And when you follow up with them in the morning, first thing with your list, it makes it a safer, easier choice for them to work with you than your competitors. Just a little tip for you guys. Thank you, Lindsay.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. So the other part of automation that I want to show you is our journeys. So I don't know how many people we have on here that are marketing, that's new, that are marketing people. But this is a great marketing piece. So I'm going to show you one that we've built. This is a drag and drop system. So let me minus that down. So this is going to be your series of actions, delays, decisions. So let's say you want to get a bunch of people to fill out a survey. Everybody gets communicated with in a different way. And not everybody's going to open an email that has subject line A, but maybe they'd open it if it had subject line B. And all you need to do is get them to open it and they'd fill out your survey. So this is a way to set up an action. So send email A, and then it has a delay. Wait 1 business day or wait 3 hours. And then a decision. Did they open this email? Yes. Okay, send them another email or send them a thank you. Did they not open the email? Okay, send them email A with subject line B. So whatever that journey that you want to send your clients on or send your prospects on or send your partners on, you can do so in a really simple, streamlined way. So here is our, this one is particularly is when someone wants to see our automated marketing file. So we have a white paper that we send out. So again, it's send an email, wait an hour, and are they a member of group 12? So that's a specific decision. If they are, stop the campaign. If they're not, wait another hour, and then make another decision. Did they read the email? And then it just continues them on this path to get them where we want them to go. Everyone gets communicated in a different way. Everybody is more likely to open one email versus another. So this is a really cool way to build out those journeys. It's all drag and drops. It's really, really easy to use. And you can build out these really beautiful marketing campaigns.
Yeah, this is a pretty cool way to do it, and especially with all of our visual people as well, being able to see the map and see the journey of how people walk down. So for those of you who are watching, planning out your customer journey on a marketing platform through email is extremely important. And so being able to do something like this is, it's a task for sure. And I don't want you to feel overwhelmed with this picture. This takes time to build out. But, like we said earlier, Lindsey has a way of how, building this out is a little bit easier for you to do, especially with MissionSuite. But this is awesome. This is really seeing what your customer goes through. And then also when you go back to your dashboard, you're seeing how this type of marketing campaign is performing as well. So you can always do your tweaks. You're always wanting to tweak your campaigns, and MissionSuite does give you that ability as much as other CRMs too. So this is so cool, Lindsey. Thank you.
Absolutely. And like you said, this one might look a little overwhelming. My husband built this out, and his brain works in a way that I have no idea. I couldn't follow this completely in my own head, but he's brilliant, and he made this work, and it was a great campaign. Mine would look a whole lot more simple, but that's just how I work. Awesome. So that's the bulk of MissionSuite. I want to mention a few other pieces of the system that are also really great for, again, helping you make money, helping you save time, helping you save money. A few things, we have the ability to build out landing pages or microsites. They're really, really simple, really easy to build, really easy to use. We also have sign-up forms. So you can have people give you their information to download your white paper, or give you their information to call them later, or enter a raffle, or whatever it is, however it is that you want to get people's information. These sign-up forms really simplify and streamline that process. You can put them on our landing page that you build through MissionSuite, or you can put them on your WordPress website and pop it on what you've already built. Very simple, very easy to use.
Yeah, so we do have a question coming in from Gary Vine. He asked, does this integrate with all social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram? Is there an area where we can have some sort of communication between MissionSuite and social media?
Yes, so it does integrate with your social media platforms. It kind of depends on what you want to do with it and how you want it to be interacting. But we do integrate. The short answer is yes. The longer answer is let's have a conversation and talk about exactly how you want to be integrating it and make sure that it's doing so. But I'll tell you, everything we do, we do it through MissionSuite, but we can also connect to something like Hootsuite that's more built for specific social media, pushing out your content, pushing out your images, your videos, things like that. So depending on how you want to use it, you could do a lot in MissionSuite, but we can also integrate really simply with a system like Hootsuite to do it in that way as well.
Yeah, so that's a very good question to kind of roll off of, Lindsay. So tell us a little bit about, because I remember when we chatted before about this, you were talking about how, some CRMs don't work well with other platforms, especially if you haven't built it out, right? But you
Yeah.
kind of have a conduit to make that happen a little bit more streamlined. Can you kind of talk about that?
Yeah, so I mentioned a little bit earlier Zapier. It's got over a thousand different apps on it, and that's where we do a lot of our connecting because those pieces are already built. Those triggers, the automation, that's already all built out. And because we have, I want to say around 80 clients now that we have built out integrations, and we've helped them integrate with a lot of different platforms. So we know what we're doing. We know how to connect with what you're already using or what you're interested in using. We can suggest things if you're looking for something to fit a specific need. We're able to really help with that. But yeah, Zapier is a great middleware platform. But then we have an open API system. And basically that just means we allow our system to talk with other systems that have open APIs. And so we can, if there is a system that's not on Zapier and doesn't have a friendly interconnection integration, we can actually bring in a developer at a really great price and get something developed to where they're able to talk and you're able to build out those triggers. It just really, again, depends on what systems you're looking at, what platforms you're using that you would want to integrate. But we do integrate and play well with others, which is very helpful.
Awesome. Thank you, Lindsay. And Gary does say thank you. So I think he got his answer.
Gary.
Awesome. Well, if anybody else has any other questions, please do it into the chat box. We'll get those over to Lindsay and try and wrap up here in the next few minutes. So make sure you get those questions in. But tell us, Lindsay, what do you got going on for us? I know I've kind of put a little bit of a spoiler alert out there that we have something where we can get in touch with you, and also maybe something to where we can get some extra bonuses or a little bit of a promo. So tell us, what does that look like?
Absolutely. So here's our website. I'll move into pricing now. This is another way that we are going to save you money. We have a very different pricing structure for our month-to-month cost. We do all of our pricing based on the number of contacts that you're storing in your database. And this is billable contacts. So if people unsubscribe or if you get a hard bounced email, those become non-billable. So you're only paying for your billable contacts. So a lot of you out there, if you're brand new, just starting out, you probably don't have 150 contacts yet. You'd only be paying $30 a month. And that's for unlimited emails, unlimited users, unlimited support, and unlimited training. At the end of your setup, we'll actually give you a link that you can schedule training anytime you need it. You also have our email addresses, phone numbers. If you need quick support, you have a quick question, and it's not right there in front of you, you just give us a call, shoot us over an email. We make sure you get your information really quickly.
So let me pause you there, Lindsay. So you're telling me that I'm not having to Frankenstein this together. I'm able to have the Swiss Army knife for this price. Now, guys, I'm not trying to necessarily do a picture, but I want you to understand the value that's here is that you're not having to piece together 5 different platforms. You have one platform. Now, I don't know about you, but I love the Swiss Army knife kind of thing. But also what I love about this that I know I don't get on the few CRMs that I've been a part of is unlimited training and partial setup of what's going on with your account. So thank you, Lindsay. Please continue.
Yeah, so talking about that setup. So every client comes in at least with the basic setup, and most clients come in just needing the basic setup. So our basic setup is $400. We set up your groups, we set up your custom fields, we set up your users, your tags, your activity types, your sales stages. We implement our networking follow-up. So those drip campaigns that I talked about, we'll actually implement that for you. I have to say that's pretty huge. It's a new thing we started offering recently. And it's been really a big thing for our new clients. They've loved getting that set up right off the bat. We also will do your first list of contacts import, which is really helpful with mapping. We teach you how to map. We teach you how to do all of these things. And then we do your setup, we do your setup and your training. So if you're interested, we'll do your setup, and then it takes a couple days to set your system. And then we do 2 pretty intensive trainings. And those are just off the bat, that's what we do. But like we mentioned, all training, all support is free. So if you need more, we're here, we're available. You're not going to have to pay, and it's not different levels of support depending on the amount you're paying per month. Everyone gets the automatic unlimited support and training.
Awesome. Now, Shadiah does have a question. She asks, can you use the same login for multiple businesses? Say we have kind of two different businesses, a consulting side and kind of a service side. Is there a way to kind of integrate both of that into your CRM?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I have one client who's using it for 3 different companies that have some overlap, but mostly don't. But what she loves about that is that she has her company with her jewelry, she has an event company, and then she has an online service. And she has some people that have overlap, and she gets to see if I'm in there interacting with all 3, she has all of that information again on her one contact. So yes, we are able to support with the way we set up your system with different groups and different tags and different fields to really streamline the multiple businesses that you're running, because who doesn't at least have one side hustle?
Especially entrepreneurs. I feel like we got like 10,
Exactly.
So what, right? Sometimes, right? So what I love about this, especially with your basic setup, you're saying that you're going to come in, you're not only going to create those custom fields with all of those email marketing things that we had going, and then you're going to, help all of our users be able to be integrated. And then you're also going to get us training on how to create those workflows, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Guys, I cannot express this enough. If you have not dealt with a CRM yet, or maybe you have, just the foundational word here is frustrating. And so what I love is that Lindsey and her husband and team are coming in and they're actually going to set up for you. But you got to understand, they're the experts in how this stuff works, not only in MissionSuite, but as a CRM. So, we can hire all sorts of outside consultants, which are wonderful and valuable, but I guarantee that they're going to be more expensive for this and this. So if you're working with a shoestring budget, this is something to think about, is contacting Lindsey and seeing if this is something for you.
Absolutely. And, I do want to also mention, we are doing we are giving you guys a discount. Anybody who is seeing this video is able to get $50 off their basic setup. So we do have a code. I think it's going to get dropped into all the chats, but Entrennial 50, you get $50 off your setup in the month of June. So definitely schedule it for sometime in the month of June, and you'll get $50 off when you enter that code. And we also have a special offering for the members of Entrennial University. So that will be put in your app. You'll be able to have access to that as well. I'm not going to announce it here, because that's just for you guys.
Yeah, so guys, it is significant I know we have a few Entrennials that are on here and not on the actual Zoom call. There is a substantial amount of discount with that. So props for being part of Entrennial University, is you get more discounts for the promo code, especially with MissionSuite, because Lindsey is awesome. Thank you so much, Lindsey. We really appreciate it. So in the chat,
already a member, get on there. And
right?
Maybe you can get the code.
So in the chat, guys, you can see the Calendly link. You can click on that to schedule your time to talk with Lindsey, and the promo code is right there as well with Entrennial 50. So thank you, Lindsey. Please continue showing us this awesome thing.
Absolutely, yeah. So this is the link that you guys are getting. This is for the account setup. Go ahead, find a time, anytime in June that works for you. You'll put in all your information, you'll put in your promo code, and you'll get your setup. If, however, you aren't ready to maybe sign up and you just have questions, I don't think I popped this link already, but let me go ahead and give you the link to my Calendly. Go ahead and just schedule here a 30-minute call. So here's the link. I can actually pop this into the chat, I believe. Let's see, Q&A, chat, here we go.
Thank you. I'll put that over into the live as well.
Perfect. There you go. So I just put it on the Zoom. So yeah, just if you just are curious about how it works for you, you want to talk about maybe some specific features, or maybe some of the ones I haven't shown, like surveys or voice text messages and voice calls and event management or booking calendar, et cetera, et cetera. There's so many different pieces. But if you have questions about those specific things, you can also just schedule this. I'm happy to hop on a call, learn a little bit about what you're doing specifically. And we can always schedule a more intensive, more individualized demo to go through certain pieces before you book your book your setup call. So both options are available. If you're ready, go ahead and hop on, schedule your setup. Otherwise, let me know. I'm happy to hop on a call and answer any extra questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lindsey. So everybody, all of the links are in there. I just want to give you a shout out, Lindsey, because our audience is really checking this out. Thank you, audience, for being amazing. Shadiah says, this whole system blows what I've been using out of the water.
Nice.
And Gary comes in again saying, looks amazing. Just not ready yet. Still finishing up my book and business plan. Will keep it in mind. So Gary, what I would suggest for you is to schedule a time to talk to Lindsey so that not only are you on her list of people to follow up with for when you're ready. Let's practice what we preach, right? So Gary, go ahead and schedule your time with Lindsey. She'll answer any questions you have so that when you are ready, you are on the calendar to speak with her. So thank you so much, Lindsey. This has been invaluable and absolutely freaking amazing. I am going to stop our screen share and bring our faces, hopefully, back onto the screen if I can. I'm not sure if I can I?
I think.
I was like, how is this going to work here? Oh, there we are. Okay, great. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Lindsey, for being a part of this amazing interview we had today for our Entrennials and extra audience out there. Guys, if you really enjoyed this and learning more about not only CRMs, but MissionSuite, give us some hearts, give us some likes, share this with somebody who could use the promo code. Like Lindsey said, this is for all of the month of June. So Gary, you have until the end of June, but everybody else, share this with people that you know are looking for those CRMs that kind of has that whole package and that is blowing it out of the water. So again, Lindsey, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. I hope you're all going to connect with her and have a conversation or get started with MissionSuite. I know I am. So, all right, guys, this is Entrennial Talks with Entrennial University. I'm your host, Anastasia Button, with the amazing Lindsey Campbell from MissionSuite. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a beautiful day, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks. Bye.